JR has been an amazing man and human being to me.
Tamar Braxton and J.R. Robinson are supposedly back together. After they broke up, it seemed like they were done for good. But now, it looks like they're back on track.
What's the song, baby?
Someone get hurt. I did my share dirt.
So what happened? Without wasting any time, let's dive into the real story of what's been going on between Tamar and JR. Recently, JR made quite the post on Instagram. In it, he reflected on his and Tamar's relationship and the part he played in making it fall apart when it did. According to him, he can testify that love hurts, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a beautiful thing and God's gift to our hearts. As well as writing that, JR also asked some hard-hitting questions that might explain some of the things that went down between him and Tamar. His questions were mainly centered around if we as people are willing to sacrifice and fight for love, if we're willing to not give up on our partners no matter what happens, and if we're willing to set aside our ego and fight for whatever is still left. And it seems like JR and Tamar are willing to do all this. According to JR, he had to put his ego aside and do a lot of fighting for him and Tamar to get to where they are right now. He's grateful to God for making him realize how much he loves Tamar and how much he needed to heal to see the extent of that love. He admitted that there were times when he was angry at Tamar when he was single, so he decided to take advantage of people who wanted to take advantage of him too. And he did this with a single goal in mind, and that goal was to hurt them. And because of this, he also hurt Tamar indirectly, and he wanted to apologize to her for that. At the end of the day, he didn't just end up hurting others, he ended up hurting himself too. And that hurt was supposedly what made him hang out with Tommy Lee after what she said about Tamar online. Because of the amount of hurt that he was going through, JR decided to take some time away from it all and heal. After they broke up, he didn't go into too much detail about what happened between him and Tamar, but he admitted that the dating show process during the Queen's Court, the show where they met, had a role to play in their breakup. JR fully owned up to the part he played in everything that went down between him and Tamar. But Tamar isn't letting herself be left out of taking responsibility. She hosted an Instagram Live where she took accountability for their breakup, and JR was with her. During the live stream, he asked her why they broke up, and Tamar said that they broke up because of her. Tamar decided to take responsibility for her actions because JR is a good man and she's happy that things played out the way they did. And she also announced that she believes women need to normalize admitting that they're wrong whenever they're the ones at fault. I think many people might agree that JR really seems to be the guy for Tamar because looking at her dating history, he seems to be the one partner that really gets her. Based on the information available online, Tamar's dating history dates back to 2000 when she was with Darrell Delight Allenby. Tamar and Darrell met in 2000 while he was working on her solo album with her. It didn't take long before sparks started flying between them, and soon they became an item. They dated for almost a year before they got engaged to each other. And when 2001 came around, they got married, and their relationship seemed stronger than ever. But as time went on, the cracks started to show. And no matter how hard they tried, they just couldn't find a way to get past each other's flaws and fix whatever was left of their marriage. They went their separate ways by 2003. After leaving Darrell, it didn't take long for Tamar to fall in love with another creative. This time, it was Vincent Herbert. And unlike her relationship with Darrell, which didn't last all that long, Tamar's relationship with Vincent really seemed like it would stand the test of time. Tamar and Vincent fell in love in 2003, and they went on to date for 5 years before they got married in 2008. Most people believe that it took that long for them to walk down the aisle because Tamar didn't want to make the same mistake she did with Darrell by moving too quickly. 5 years into their marriage, Tamar and Vincent welcomed their first and only child together, Logan Vincent Herbert. And they also started their family reality TV show, Tamar and Vince. Unfortunately, the show only lasted for 5 seasons and ended in 2017. This was because Tamar and Vincent had started experiencing a lot of trouble in their marriage, and they decided that they couldn't keep up with the relationship anymore. So, in 2017, they went their separate ways. And then, barely a year later, Tamar got together with David Edifiso. This time around, Tamar only shared bits and pieces of their relationship online, so no one really knew the dynamics going on behind the scenes. Tamar and David ended up dating for only 2 years, and they called it quits in 2020. But that was just the start of the drama between them, because it was David who found Tamar after she attempted to take her life. She revealed that she hadn't been happy for years. She wasn't happy with her life, she wasn't happy with her job, and she just generally wasn't happy with the things around her. This made her spiral into depression, and everything was looking pretty bleak for Tamar. Things between her and David also continued to heat up. He even filed a restraining order against her at one point, citing domestic violence as the reason. It's clear that Tamar went through a lot. She faced some really difficult times, which is why it's so great to see that she and JR now seem happier than ever. Of course, that still doesn't change the fact that some people have their doubts about the relationship, since neither Tamar nor JR have the best track record when it comes to relationships. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But in the meantime, what do you guys think about Tamar and JR's relationship? Are you glad they're back together? Do you think things are actually going to work out for them this time? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below.